I hate when the coffee spills out of the lid. I just don't get it. Hi, my name is Magen Wolmart and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be, oh, I have hair on me. I'm a little scatterbrained today, but today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial, although I have no idea what type of makeup this is going to be, so we're just going to see how it turns out. I do think I want to go for a lightweight glam makeup look. Also, I just want to say that yes, I'm in the same outfit I was in for my tips for taking online classes video, filming them on the same day, and why would I change and waste an outfit and have to do more laundry? Makes no sense to me, but I hope you enjoy this video, so let's just get right on into it. Step 1, have coffee. Nice pumpkin spice latte is always good. Step 2, make sure you've done your skincare routine. I did that a few hours ago, but my face is moisturized. So, step 3, clip your hair back or throw your hair up in a ponytail, whichever you prefer. My absolute favorite primer is the Becca First Light Priming Filter Instant Complexion Refresh. Looks like this, little beauty guru action. I really don't know what I'm doing here, but super good. It makes my face dewy, which I like because my overall setting powder is matte. And the problem that I have with most primers is that they make me break out. Not severely, not cystic acne, but my pores get really clogged with most primers. And this does not do that. I've been using it for probably maybe a year. The next primer that I use is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I really like this one as well because before this one, I was actually using the NYX Angel Veil. And this, I found, did clog my pores. This one, not that I've noticed. I've used it probably 10 to 15 times in total, and I really like it. So I just kind of smooth my finger around, then I'll take my ring finger and kind of just push it in, tap to this little area next to my nose. I guess right under the eye, on the orbital bone, I think it's called. Some on my chin, on my nose, and on my forehead, but just a little bit. A little bit does go a pretty decent way. And then the directions for this product, when I opened it, did say that once you finish applying it, you're supposed to let it sit for 30 seconds. While I let it sit, I'll get my beauty blender and I'll wet it. I just brought a cup of water because I didn't want to get up. So we'll just squeeze it in the water. Something else that I do too that I haven't really seen anybody mention, when I'm done squeezing out the water, I kind of take a towel and I lightly go like that. I don't know if it really does anything, but I just feel like it's less wet when I apply my foundation or anything like that. So I really advise you to do that if you find that your sponge just feels too wet when you're applying foundation. And instead of using an actual foundation today, we're going to be using the CoverGirl BB cream with SPF. It's in the shade 810 light to medium. And I really like this because, like I said, the goal of today's video is to have lightweight glam makeup. So this is perfect. It's September now, but I still like to wear BB cream in September because it can still be kind of hot and humid. I will dot sections of my face. I don't do my entire face all at once. Then I'll take my beauty blender and tap it out. I remember back in high school, I want to say, I just turned 17. I'm 22 now, by the way. I feel at least for me, I was just learning about beauty blenders, and for a long time, I applied my BB cream with a dry beauty sponge. If I were to do that now, I feel like people would judge the heck out of me. I was like, no, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Until I started to get into makeup and I was watching YouTube videos and everything and found out that no, wetting it helps a lot. Where I put the e.l.f. putty, the poreless putty, I think it's extra important to tap, not swipe, because you don't want to move that primer. And then you cannot forget about the neck. You do not want a demarcation line, which is just an obvious line of a difference in color. I'm going to put a little bit more on my forehead because I feel like the coverage isn't exactly even there. So good. Another thing that I don't really like to do on hot days is put lots and lots and lots of powder on my face, because I feel like that's what gives you that like really, really cakey look. To contour and bronze up the outsides of my face, we're going to be using the LA Girl Pro Conceal HD High Definition Concealer. And I think that the mistake a lot of people make with this is they use too much and then it's hard to blend. I've seen a lot of YouTubers bring their liquid contour from their ear like all the way down to here. I don't do that. I only do a little tiny bit, especially when I'm going for a lightweight look. Then we're going to take some and put it below the lip. And then the nose, you don't want to do too much, but what I do, right when like the nose starts to form like a little bowl in the center, I really don't know how to explain that, but I start there and bring it down. Then I also put it on my forehead. I'm a little bit more, I guess, lenient with how much I put on my forehead, because I feel like it's easier to blend out the forehead. I also will put a little bit on the jawline. And to blend this out, I'm going to be using the Real Techniques sculpting brush. The angle and the density of this brush is super nice for blending out liquid contour. I always start with the jawline. I'll swipe down, but I'll do circular motions. I'll push up, I'll push down, just really making sure that's all blended out. Then to blend out the contour up of the cheek, I'll do some swipes just to bring the liquid down a little bit, and then I'll push up. And then the forehead, I push back into the hairline. So push back, we'll do some circular motions as well, just kind of combine the two techniques. Bring it down the temples a little bit, try to connect it in the middle. And then for the nose contour, I actually use a different brush. I use the Sonia Kashuk, if that's how you say it, her contour brush. Since we only have the nose contour right here, I bring it up and into the little crevice here, right by the eyebrow. Back down. Then I push it down towards the nose. I don't bring it into the center here because you want that to be bright. Then I just get the tip of my nose. I always do my liquid contour before my liquid concealer, because I feel like if you mess up at all here, you can kind of bring the concealer down a little bit more to cover anything up. But for my lightweight looks or my more natural looks, I like to use the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, and I'm in the shade 10 Fair. I have been using this for years. I think it was like the first concealer I ever used, and I just haven't found anything that's natural that I like as much as this. This has been my ride or die concealer for years. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's definitely not like full coverage, but it gives you enough coverage for like a more natural to medium look, I'd say. Then I'm just going to take my beauty blender and blend that out. And for the nose, like to blend that out, I will hold the beauty blender like this and kind of like squeeze. That way I can get like more of a sharp line and blend out the forehead. I like to bring this down in between the eyebrows as well. Now my under eyes crease really easy because I just have like natural creases there, which is totally, totally normal. So, coffee break. Loose powder that I love, 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 love is the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. The reason that I open this up before I start is because I like to be able to go right in and set my under eyes. And I also use a different beauty sponge to do that. This is what I use to blend out the concealer. It's wet, it's moist. And this is the Morphe one, and it's dry. And this is what I use to put powder there. Do 3 little dots. 1, 2, 3. Same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3. And I also do the same thing I did with my nose. I kind of like squeeze it. I just feel like I get better control of where I'm blending the product. I also bring this onto my eyelid because I use concealer as an eyeshadow primer. I'm going to take the loose powder, dip it in, and set right underneath my eyes. Then I'm also going to set my eyelids. To set the rest of the face, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in the shade 130 Buff Beige. The brush that I'm going to be using with that is the Sephora powder brush, and I don't let my bake sit for too long, so now I'm just going to use that same brush and wipe away the bake. The blush that I absolutely adore for natural looks is the Maybelline Fit Me blush in the shade 35. I always go extra heavy on the blush because it's the first thing to fade, so I don't really mind if I kind of look a little clowny at first because it's just going to disappear. Kind of stamp the apples of the cheeks and then bring it up. Moving on to highlight, my favorite highlighters in the entire world are the Becca Shimmering Perfector highlights. The one I have today is in the shade Moonstone, and the brush that I'm going to use with this is the Real Techniques fan brush. Again, I've seen a lot of YouTubers kind of stray away from the fan brush, but I personally like it still. I think it disperses the product the best. Do a little swipey action. I also bring it like right around the temples because I feel like it helps to connect everything, and I just like the way that looks better rather than just like a line of highlight on your cheek. And I really pack on the highlight because I love to be super glowy, but also not too glowy, if that makes sense. Then I also put some on my Cupid's bow, down the center of my nose, on the brow bone. So next is going to be eyeshadow, and for eyeshadow, when I'm doing a lightweight makeup look, I really like to use pinks and mauves, colors that are very light and not really anything smoky, not too many shades either. So for today's look, we're going to be using the Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette with a Morphe Fluffy brush. First color we're going to be using is Feels, and we're going to be using this as a transition shade, but also not really caring if it kind of gets all over the lid. I am actually really liking how this color is looking, so we're going to put it all over the lid as well. I'm just going to be using a flat Morphe brush and then just blending everything out again with the first fluffy brush. So now that that is all blended out, we are going to go into Hot Spot, which is this creamy white shade, with that same flat brush that we were using, and just kind of get the inner corner just to lighten up the eye. And then again, I'm just going to take the fluffy brush and blend. And now going in with the Jaclyn Hill palette, we are going to take the color Faint, which is this light glittery pink. And again, that same flat brush, and we're going to put that exactly where we put that creamy shade from the Urban Decay palette. And then again, that same fluffy brush, just blend everything in. Now with this pretty tiny Morphe brush, we're going to take the Feels color from the Urban Decay palette and swipe that right underneath the lash line. To finish up the eyeshadow look, we're just going to grab that highlight from before. We're going to put this in the inner corner of the eye. Then again, with that fluffy brush, we're just going to blend. Blending is the key to a good eye makeup look. It's a Real Techniques setting brush that has no product on it. I'm just going to flick at the under eye to make sure we don't have any fallout. So this is a very important step in my makeup routine, no matter what type of makeup that I'm doing. Before I move on and finish up with brows and mascara, I always use a setting spray. So the setting spray that I'm going to be using right now is the Smashbox Primer Water, and this just really helps to kind of melt everything together because I do this twice, and I think that doing it twice is what kind of gives me that very skin-like finish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray my face and kind of fan until it is damp and a little bit sticky. And this step is super important. Make sure you have your beauty blender in your hand. This is a trick I learned from I Am Just a Makeup Lover. I'll try to find that video. I feel like it's a few years old, but I'll link it in the description below if I can remember. And now that my face is damp, I'm going to take the flat side of my Real Techniques beauty sponge, and I'm just going to pat at my face. So now we're going to move on to the eyebrows. And again, because we're not going for a full coverage, full glam makeup look, I'm not going to use a pencil or anything like that. I'm just going to go straight in with the e.l.f. Wow Brow in the shade natural brown. I start not at the tail end over here because I want that to be very natural. I start kind of in the middle right before the arch, and I lightly will swipe at my brow hairs, bringing it down, and then I'll go back to the front, gently swipe up. Now I'm going to do my mascara off camera just because my mascara takes me forever, but I curl my lashes with the Sonia Kashuk eyelash curler. Then I go in with the Maybelline The Falsies mascara in, I think, Blackest Black, and it's waterproof, very, very important for me. Then after 1 or 2 coats of that, I'll go in with 1 coat of the Voluminous Lash Paradise mascara that's also waterproof. Then I will go into my under eyelashes with, I think this is Maybelline. It kind of all rubbed off, but it's a really skinny brush, which is perfect for the under eyes. I think it's called Lash Discovery, also in waterproof. If the angle has changed at all, that's because I just turned off the camera and finished my mascara. After I was done with the mascara, I used the Pixi Makeup Fixing Mist, and I set my entire face, and while that was drying, I used another coat of the Maybelline The Falsies mascara. And then once I was done doing that, while my skin was still damp, I did that sponge tapping technique again. So now we're all done with the face, and our last step is a lippy. As I've said a handful of times already, today's look is lightweight but also glam. So we're going to be using the Revlon Super Lustrous Lipstick in the shade Pearl 030. I cannot find this at a store anymore. Like, this is literally all I have left. But I'm pretty sure you can still order it off of Revlon's website, which I highly recommend because this is such a natural shade. It is my favorite lipstick of all time. Then I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Color Rich lipstick in the shade 800 Matte Karen, I think is how you pronounce it. It just looks like this. Super, super pretty. And I'm just going to put this in the middle of my lip. So right here. And then right there. And then to top it off, I'm going to use the Maybelline Lifter Gloss, which has hyaluronic acid, which is super cool. And this is in the shade 003 Moon. Okay, so this is the finished look, my lightweight but also glam makeup look. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, definitely give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below what type of videos you want to see next, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It is free and it really helps me out. And while you're at it, you could also turn on the post notification bell. That way you always get notified every single time I upload a video. And one last thing, I am doing a monthly Starbucks e-gift card giveaways. Sometimes I combine months depending on how many videos I can get up within a month. So definitely check out the description box below because that has all the rules on how to enter the giveaway. And with that being said, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.